Welcome back for a Week 2 edition of Inside the Zone with Tom Davis of the News Sentinel. And Tom, I will give credit where credit's due. We disagreed last week on who was going to win the Snyder-Luers game, who was going to win that conference as well. Yep. You were right. I was wrong. I'm man enough to admit it. Snyder comes up with a big 10-7 win, and it was 10-0 for a long time in that game.
Yes, it was.
Talk about what you saw, because you were there from kick to finish.
Yeah.
What was the big difference? Because that was the game of the week, no question about it.
Well, what was interesting about this game is the end result was what I thought it would be. I thought Snyder would win in the final seconds, but how it played out was completely opposite of what I thought. I thought it'd be a high-scoring game because I didn't envision anybody being able to slow those two powerful offenses down, but both defenses were absolutely incredible. Think about this. Bishop Luers averaged 42 points a game last year, yet almost 43 minutes into the game, they hadn't even scored. I mean, it was incredible what the Snyder defense did, and Luers' defense was every bit as good. So it was just like two big heavyweight fighters slugging each other in the 13th round, beating the tar out of each other. It was one of the more physical and emotional games I think I've ever seen from the sidelines.
And you want to talk about heavyweights. Jaylon Smith, perhaps the best player we've seen high school-wise in the last 20 years, perhaps in this area. They bottled him up for 48 total yards. This is a guy that could win Mr. Football, and Snyder corralled him. How'd they do it?
They did it with all 11 guys. You should have seen how all the black jerseys had just engulfed every single Bishop Luers playmaker. Every time that they would try to do something, it was 11 black jerseys swarming to the ball. It was really incredible to watch. The one guy that was able to get out into space and make plays was Michael Rogers, the Luers receiver. He ended up having a pretty good night, and but boy, it took an entire team effort by Snyder to corral the individual stars of Luers.
Yeah, and Luers, of course, is breaking in a new quarterback. Quinn Cook got the start, but you can't lay the blame really at his shoulders. You just give credit where credit's due, and that's to the Snyder football team.
Well, I'll tell you, Quinn Cook did not play badly. In fact, he took a couple of shots that I'm not sure I would have been able to get up from, but he played pretty well, threw for 162 yards. And you know, the truth of the matter is, he hit Tyvell Jemison at the 1-yard line completely wide open. It was a breakdown of Snyder coverage with less than a minute to go. Hit him right in the hands, and Tyvell Jemison, who normally is a great receiver, dropped the ball. Otherwise, we're talking about an entirely different outcome here. But Quinn Cook played very, very well for his first game.
All right, so the SAC, unlike other conferences, especially in our area, they don't do co-conference champs. So this win is huge when it comes to these are the top two teams in the SAC. Really, it gives Snyder a 2-game lead essentially when you take a look at it, because somebody's going to have to knock off Snyder twice for Lewis to get back into the title hunt. So that's pretty big, unless there's a three-way tie up at the top, and maybe Northside does get into that mix.